NBA, from short-term contract to Bulls Dominator. Like, share and subscribe. Episode 51. Around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Qin Yang took his parents to Highland Park in Chicago. This is part of Chicago's old wealthy district. Through investigation, former NBA star Scottie Pippen's mansion has a set located in Highland Park. It is worth more than 10 million US dollars, equivalent to Dragon coins, which is equivalent to 60 or 70 million. The area of Highland Park, Qin Yang knows. When I was a mason in my early years, I used to work here. For the housing prices in this area, the bottom people in the United States dare not expect luxury in their lives. If it weren't for his son's fame in the NBA and making a lot of money, Qin Yang knew that he would not have been able to live in Highland Park in his life. Seeing the magnificent private mansions in front of him, Qin Yang sighed that it was good to have money. Zhao Yaru followed behind her son and husband, like a little girl who had never seen the world. Look here, look there. Yang, will our family live here in the future? Zhao Yaru held back the surging and excitement in her heart. Qin Yang smiled and replied, Mom, how do you feel about the environment here? The environment must be nothing to say. The rich area, of course, is much better than the slums we live in. Haha, as long as you two elders like it, or our family will move here in the future. Qin Yang showed the domineering spirit of the local tyrants. Qin Yang spoke, what, smelly boy, won't it be too expensive? I heard that a house here can't get down without $7 or $8 million. It's okay, you should consume it. Money is something outside the body, spend and earn. Qin Yang brainwashed his parents. What's more, buying a house is an appreciation, not a consumable. A car and electronic products are consumables. Even if the house is bought and cannot be lived, it can slowly appreciate over time. You have a good point. Qin Yang and Zhao Yaru nodded slightly. I always feel that my son has grown up and his thoughts have become more mature. This change made the couple feel gratified. That's okay, let's listen to Yang. Buy when you should, this house can still appreciate when you buy it, let's live in advance first, why not? Zhao Yaru was successfully brainwashed by Qin Yang. What the son said is reasonable, money is something outside the body, and it is earned after it is spent. Moreover, the house is indeed an appreciation, or Chicago's famous rich area, Highland Park. Excuse me, 3, do you need anything? Just as the Qin family of 3 was talking, a magnetic bass sounded in their ears. Turning around, it was a white guy in a suit. Very handsome, about 185 centimeters tall. Sven looks like a shopping guide who is a real estate salesman. Hello, we are coming. Qin Yang was about to answer the white guy. Suddenly the white guy exclaimed, oh my god. I didn't look at the eyes, did I? You China Qin? Qin Yang suddenly felt embarrassed. Now in Chicago, he is really too famous. Wherever you go, you can meet fans and fans. I'm China Qin. Hello, may I ask if there is a new house for sale here in Highland Park? Yes, China Qin, the white guy immediately nodded. Then he laughed again. It seems that the news reports are correct. The Bulls have renewed your contract, and then you are going to live in Chicago for a long time, right? So to speak. Qin Yang said that he was speechless. As a celebrity, he simply did not have any privacy, and all big and small things were published on the news. China Qin, it is an honor to serve you. Please follow me. I will take you to see the new house that suits you. The white guy was very enthusiastic and led the Qin Yang family of 3 to the depths of the Highland Park. This area is very large, the whole villa complex, hundreds of acres of land is available. The white guy drove and wandered the streets of the villa complex. Eventually stopped in front of a Nordic-style villa. He got out of the car and pointed to this luxurious villa in a Nordic style. China Qin, I recommend you to choose this house, it has just been built in the park. The infrastructure in the villa, as well as the greenery, outdoor swimming pool, etc., are all well done. The words of the white guy sounded in his ears, and Qin Yang bowed his head slightly. Then he turned his gaze to his parents and said, Mom and Dad, how do you feel about this villa? Look at the appearance is very beautiful, let's go in and take a look. Well, it's up to you. Zhao Yaru and Qin Yang didn't say a word. The son makes the money, and the son has the final say. The 4 enter this luxurious Nordic-style villa. The exterior of the main building is like a large bell tower, which is called a magnificent style. Walking into the courtyard, there is a green lawn field. Build an open-air heart-shaped pool on the left. Inside the villa is a business reception hall, next to the luxurious Nakajima kitchen. After eating, you can go to the business living room for leisure. There are billiard tables, retro chess and card rooms, and other entertainment projects. Tired of playing, there is also a ready-made bar in the business living room. On the bar wine cabinet, valuable wines are on display. Open the floor-to-ceiling windows and face a beautiful view, a private ginseng soup pool. Not only that, but there is also an indoor training hall, equipped with professional and durable iron fitness equipment. Next door to the iron venue is a wine cellar. Obviously, this is a store of all kinds of food and wine. After talking about the interior of the mansion, let's talk about the periphery of the main building. Back garden, all-weather tennis court, miniature golf. The sports that the rich often play can all be found in this mansion. Led by a white guy, the family of 3 strolled for 20 minutes before touring this private luxury villa. Luxury, grandeur, magnificence, perfection. Countless words flashed in Qin Yang's mind. At this time, he finally knew that the world of rich people turned out to be like this. No wonder everyone is working hard to climb the ladder and is bound to be rich. After sightseeing this mansion, Qin Yang suddenly became more motivated. He wants to buy this mansion, that's it, and you can see it at a glance. Turning his head to look at the second elder, Qin Yang spoke. Parents, do you feel okay? Isn't this mansion very comfortable to live in? The couple was stunned. Secretly hate the son nonsense, This level of mansion, then living in it is extremely comfortable. Fools will say uncomfortable. Zhao Yaru swallowed her spit, and said in a weak tone, Yang, don't ask us how it is. You better ask that person first. How much does it cost to buy this mansion? Episode 52. 3 people, buy this mansion, a total of $9 million. Are there other costs? Do you need an annual maintenance fee? If you need it, then add extra money. The white guy is a salesman, and he has a commission when the house is sold, and he is very active in explaining it to Qin Yang and the three. Qin Yang bowed his head slightly. Mansions are maintained and paid to the local authorities. $100,000 a year, the price is not expensive. Before crossing over, he read a news that Kobe's mansion in Los Angeles adds up to hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Okay, $9 million? Can it be cheaper? People in the Dragon Kingdom, do not forget to bargain wherever they go. This is a subconscious behavior. The white guy shook his head with an embarrassed smile. China Qin, although I really want to give you a bargain, but I am not the developer boss. It doesn't matter if I say it, the pricing is like this. Okay then, Qin Yang is not embarrassed. The white guy is a working boy, and he really can't be the master. China Qin, I feel that this mansion is very suitable for you. Mike also came to see this villa at the beginning, but he didn't ask for it in the end. It should not be fancy. Mike? Qin Yang was stunned. You mean Jordan? Yes, the white guy nodded. About a few months ago, Mike came once. He didn't ask for it. I look at his appearance. Should be disgusted that this villa is too cheap. Qin Yang, he was immediately speechless. Jordan turned out to be so arrogant. 9 million mansions, still cheap? That's it. Although Jordan's career salary is not much, most of Jordan's income does not come from the salary of his playing years. He previously worked as a Bobcats owner and had various brand endorsements. Nike, in particular, is a company alone that provides Jordan with astronomical revenue every year. It is reported that AJ, the world's popular basketball shoe, has Jordan's shares. So Jordan dislikes this mansion as cheap, and it is reasonable. I'll think about it later, and then contact you. Do you have a business card? Give me one. Okay. The white guy immediately handed Qin Yang a business card. China Qin, if you need to contact me at any time, or that sentence, it is my honor to serve you. Qin Yang put the business card into his trouser pocket, and then the white guy took Qin Yang around. Looking at several vacant mansions in the villa complex, Qin Yang felt that the first set was the best. He loves the grandiose simplicity of the style. Leaving Highland Park with his parents, Qin Yang said, come and buy the first house tomorrow. I like the first one, how about you? Zhao Yaru heard this and said, Yang, these money are all earned by you with your true skills. How you spend it, I and your father don't care. Yes, I don't care with your mother. In fact, I also feel that the first set is the best, which is $9 million, which is indeed too expensive. It's okay, expensive is expensive. There is an old saying in our dragon country, it is called cheap money is not good goods. Qin Yang chuckled, so expensive things naturally have their truth. You little rabbit, who did you learn to talk to now? Zhao Yara rolled her eyes. Watching his son grow up since he was a child, his son's personality was introverted in the past. I like to stare at the sky, I like to snack, and I see strangers and ignore them. Now it has become oily and slippery, and she doesn't know what Qin Yang has experienced in just a few months. Judging from the gaze of Qin Yang's traverser, the people around him now are like a group of little fools. Of course, he won't tell anyone the secret of the crossing. Suddenly, the light in my mind flashed. Travel back to this era, you can invest in some high-tech fields. For example, the Tanuki Group, which is listed in the United States, and Apple, which is famous all over the world. Buy shares in these companies and make a lot of money after a few years. This wave of operations can have, and the A shares of the Dragon Kingdom must also be engaged. Matai? Qin Yang suddenly found himself a genius. Players speculate on stocks. This is not illegal, right? As long as you don't break the law, then do it. There are also many industries that are in the sunrise period, and these need to be explored slowly. Back home, Zhao Yaru and Qin Jingshan are ready to move and buy the mansion in Highland Park tomorrow. Qin Yang came to the residence and said hello to the landlord old man. He was moving away. Thank you for taking care of this time. The landlord is from Maple Leaf Country, and when he was young, he came to the United States to work hard, and he never went back. His wife divorced him 30 years ago and took his 2 daughters with her. He settled in Chicago alone, without even a loved one. Usually takes care of Qin Yang. Qin Yang is in the most difficult period. There is no money to pay rent, and the old man does not urge rent. He also said that as long as he lived here and talked to him, he would have nothing to walk with him. People are getting older, they are timid, they are becoming more and more sentimental. Especially if there are no relatives around. I am very lonely every day. Qin Yang was ready to move away, but the old man was reluctant. However, he also knew that the current Qin Yang was not the Qin Yang of the past. He learned through the NBA live broadcast that the young man from the Dragon Kingdom who lives in his home is the China Qin of the current Hot League. Hey! Qin, I wish you a smooth career in the future. If you have time, remember to come and see me. My impression of you is very good. You are a promising young man. The old man walked over to Qin Yang with his body and spoke with a smile. With old white hair, under the light of the setting sun, the loneliness is even stronger. Qin Yang nodded and gave his jersey to the old man before leaving. This shirt is for you. Thank you for taking care of me before. Okay, with your China Qin's jersey, I will go out in the future, and I will also have the capital to brag. The old man is quite humorous. Qin Yang smiled, chatted with the old man for a while, and went into the house to clean up. The next day, Qin Yang contacted the white guy and bought a mansion worth 9 million in the hands of the developer. Zhao Yaru and Qin Jingshan moved in, and Qin Yang chose a spacious bedroom. No way, his height and size, he has to live in the largest bedroom, otherwise it is inconvenient. It was 2 days after completing the various procedures for buying a mansion. It's November 8, 2008. The Bulls have a game tonight and will fly to the Quick Loan Arena in Cleveland to challenge the Cavaliers, led by LeBron James. Episode 53. In 2008, the Cavaliers were still very strong overall. Qin Yang's identity as a traverser knows. In the 08-09 season, the Cavaliers won the first place in the Eastern Conference in the regular season. And last year they reached the finals, and they had no choice but to meet the old demon Spurs, plus Popovich's weird old man. James was strong enough, but was calculated by Popovich. One move to prevent a breakthrough and not a defensive shot, playing James without a temper. The series was swept 4-0 by the Spurs. In the new season, they are bound to make a comeback. It is still the same configuration as last season, and defenders have been brought in on a small scale: Mo Williams, Terrence Kinsey, and others. Send Joe Smith and Damon Jones. The starting lineup is: Number 1, Daniel Gibson. Selected by the Cavaliers in 2006 with the 42nd pick in the second round, he has average scoring ability and mediocre passing organization. His role on the court is equivalent to the Lakers' Fisher Old Fish. Just take the ball into front and hand it over to James, and he'll have nothing to do. He was not on the floor for long and acted as a spot shooter. As everyone knows, wherever James is on the team, he has the ball alone. Teammates spread out, creating space and opportunities for James to break through. If someone joins forces, James passes. If no one joins forces and is sprinted by James' bulldozer-like burly body, there is almost no one in the league. So play with James, preferably a shooter, the kind that shoots more accurately. And Daniel Gibson is the target shooter on the field. Number 2, Mo Williams. He was just brought to the Cavaliers this year. The Cavaliers management brought in Mo Williams after careful consideration. Mo Williams scored well. Last season, he averaged 168 points per game, averaging 409 assists per game, plus 388 rebounds. Such a player, equivalent to a two-way guard, can share James' scoring pressure on the court. Therefore, the Cavaliers management did not hesitate to bring in Mo Williams. Number 3, LeBron James. In 2003, the chosen son of the Platinum generation, he was regarded as the Little Emperor of basketball by countless fans. The origin of the nickname is because James's name has the English word king, and king means king in the West. Since it is the king, the fans simply call it Emperor James. After thinking about it, this is disrespectful to the predecessor Chamberlain, because Chamberlain has long been called the basketball emperor. James is a newcomer to the league, and the following offense should not be committed, so, the fans are quite witty. Yu Zhang Dashui is called the basketball emperor, then James will be called the Little Emperor from now on. So the origin of James's nickname is just that. Until the 2021 era where Qin Yang is located, there are still many fans who call James the Little Emperor, or the more domineering Zhan Huang. Number 4, Big Ben Wallace. Big Ben, this player, I think there is no need to introduce too much. Ruthless people in the Union. That year, he formed the Pistons' 5 Tigers with Roaring Tianzuan, Hamilton, and Billups, defeated the powerful Lakers F4, and won the 2004 championship. Big Ben can play center 5 or 4. Despite not being tall enough, Big Ben's body is strong. Just like the flying pig Barkley back then, the big butt pouted, and the hands turned over the clouds for the rain on the inside. Big Ben is at his peak and can prevent Yao Ming's existence alone. Yao Ming once said in his own mouth that he would rather meet Howard than meet Big Ben. Don't look at Big Ben's height of only 206 centimeters, and you have to add his exaggerated explosive head. However, Big Ben was named to the all-defensive first team 5 times, the rebounding king twice, and the block king once. With such a terrifying level, it is no wonder that even Dayo said that Big Ben is not easy to fight. Number 5, Irguskas. Nicknamed Big Z, he was James' closest teammate in the early days. Height 221 centimeters, weight 1,179 kilograms. Foreign player, born in Litau country. He was selected by the Cavaliers with the 20th pick in the first round in 1996. Big Z's height is infinitely close to Yao Ming, and he is also a type of player with Yao Ming. With a soft feel on the inside, a variety of offensive methods, and rich game experience, he is an out-and-out veteran in the league. On the defensive end, Big Z also does his best, standing in the interior paint area, often giving opponents a large enough deterrent. Tonight, the player opposite Big Z must be Qin Yang. There is some difference in height between the two. Qin Yang is only 208 centimeters, but Big Z is 221 centimeters. Before the game, Big Z was interviewed by the media. The reporter asked him, "Is there any pressure on both ends of attack and defense against China Qin of the Hot Alliance tonight?" Big Z is quite crazy, he told the reporter. There is no pressure, play at his own pace. And he firmly believes that with so many years of competition experience, it is not a problem to burst a rookie. In the midst of words, he underestimated Qin Yang. No wonder, Big Z joined the league in 1996, the same term as Kobe, Nash, Iverson, and others. After so many years of fighting, how can you be afraid of a rookie who only plays 3 games? Even in Big Z's view, Qin Yang's outbreak has a lot of uncertainty. A young man like this, one game is very fierce, more often it will collapse. Therefore, for Qin Yang, who has recently become popular in the alliance, Big Z is not in his eyes at all. He wants to teach this young man from the Dragon Kingdom a good lesson at the Fast Loan Arena in Cleveland. Episode 54. At 9 p.m., the two teams officially started playing. The Bulls' starting lineup hasn't changed, it's still the same. Qin Yang, wearing the number 9 jersey, led the way into the Quick Loan Arena. The DJ shouted out the starting list of the players on both sides. And when reading Qin Yang's name, this DJ master is very good at things, and specially emphasizes Qin Yang's anti-sky data in the past 3 games. However, it didn't work, and Cavaliers fans didn't buy it. As soon as Qin Yang came out of the player tunnel, many fans booed him. As a professional player, psychological quality must first pass. The fans booed them, how they should fight or how to fight. Some reporters also asked Qin Yang, what did Qin Yang think of Big Z's remarks before the game? Qin Yang smiled, and he bluntly told the reporter that he would cut another 40 points in tonight's match against the Knights. As soon as these words came out, the whole city was in an uproar. We all know that the Bulls played magic on the court, and Qin Yang faced the Warcraft Howard and arrogantly cut down 40 points, plus 15 rebounds and 9 blocks. Got a quasi-large, triple-double data. And tonight facing the Knights, Qin Yang still has to cut down 40 points. This guy is also too bragging. Cleveland reporters have never seen such arrogant young men. Qin Yang doesn't explain, everyone can embroider legs with fists, and seeing the real episode on the court is hard kung fu. Meanwhile, the referee holds the ball to the center circle position, and the players of both teams stand on the midfield line, and no one is allowed to step on the line or cross it. Qin Yang competed with Big Z for the ball. Big Z's remarks before the game, Qin Yang has learned through a reporter. This bald head from the Litao Kingdom is crazy, don't put yourself in your eyes. See who's blowing up whom. The scrum begins, the Cavaliers versus the Bulls, into the game. Let's see, who will be the first to fight for the ball. The commentators of this game, again Mike Blinn and Albert. These two old guys, who have worked in the league for more than 10 years, are veteran commentators. China Qin and Big Z jumped together, but it seems that this ball will be China Qin, because China Qin obviously jumped higher than Big Z, and his height was not enough, so he bounced to make up. Sure enough, the first ball belonged to the Chicago Bulls, and Derrick controlled the ball. The first to scramble for the ball, Qin Yang beat Big Z. This goods bounces with him? Is it qualified? Give me the ball. Qin Yang quickly fell into the low position, and Ross dribbled to the top of the arc, and he heard Qin Yang shout. Without thinking, he immediately passed the ball to Qin Yang, and Qin Yang was already irritated by Big Z's words, and this bald head looked down on him a little. So as soon as the game began, Qin Yang took the initiative to ask for the ball and tied his long purple hair up. The friends who are familiar with Atsushi Murasakibara know what a terrifying existence this guy is, to tie up his hair. There is a detail, China Qin appeared tonight to play the Knights and tied his flowing purple long hair up. China Qin, who tied up his hair, gave me a very cold and more handsome feeling. Mike Bullen talked about Qin Yang's hairstyle. Yes, Albert nodded beside him. China Qin, who tied his hair, looks more energetic. I think China Qin should take this game seriously. After all, the Cavaliers have played bravely since the new season, and under the leadership of Lee Brown, they have won 3 straight like the Bulls. In the paint area of the stadium, Qin Yang, who tied his hair, felt indeed different from usual. At least he was more energetic. Receiving a pass from Ross, Qin Yang immediately hit Big Z with his back. This cargo is 221 centimeters tall, which is a head taller than Qin Yang. Ordinary inner lines face Big Z and dare not be hard. He is tall, sees far, and has a long arm span. Generally, the inside singles are Big Z, and they can't get anything cheap. And Qin Yang was fearless, and he showed full offensive firepower in the opening game. With a sharp top, Big Z almost spat out a mouthful of old blood. What the heck? This Dragon Country kid actually has such a huge strength? He felt less like being pushed by a person, more like walking onto the road and being hit by a large truck moving on. Oh. Baby, incredible. It's incredible. China Qin, this top, actually pushed Big Z out, and the confrontational power of Big Z was obviously exploded by China Qin. China Qin is really a terrifying guy. Big Ben joint defense. China Qin, don't be impulsive, you must know that Big Ben has been selected for the best defense team 5 times. This guy's defensive ability is not inferior to Big Z. Big Ben Wallace is very defensive. Big Z was violently knocked by Qin Yang and almost flew up. Big Ben decisively made up for the defense, and a pair of black eyes looked directly at Qin Yang. Qin Yang really wanted to spray at him. What are you looking at? I'm afraid that De Ben will return to Qin Yang in northeastern dialect. What are you doing? Then the two of them got up and down on the pitch. Bang! Ignoring Big Ben's defense, Qin Yang pulled out the onion dryly, and the iron hammer of destruction was sacrificed, and in front of Big Ben and Big Z, he forcibly dunked and scored. Get off the horse? That's right, it's the dismount. What Big Z said before the game angered Qin Yang. In the first wave of attacks, Qin Yang taught him to be a man. Big Ben jumped high and tried to cap. However, he found that this Nima is a human dunk. There seemed to be a violent true chi spreading around, and De Ben jumped, but Qin Yang used his body to push it out of the distance. His fate was the same as Big Z, and he had nothing to do with Qin Yang. The two stared at each other in amazement, and for the first time, they had a little frightening thought. What is the mysterious operation? Why does the dunk of the Dragon Country kid feel completely different from other people's dunk? Big Ben and Big Z looked at each other. Not only were they stunned, but thousands of fans in the Quick Loan Arena were stunned, and even the referee followed suit. In everyone's opinion, the big book to assist in defense can deter Qin Yang. Unexpectedly, Qin Yang ignored the big book, plucked the onion dryly, and forcibly dunked the ball in. Defend. Strengthen your defense. He's not that terrible, you two were careless just now. This time, James, the team's leader, spoke. Then he signaled to the Big Z bottom line to serve, and Qin Yang came up to give the Knights a wave of dismounts. He is the chosen son of the Platinum Generation and needs to stand up for his teammates and ravage the Bulls' basket with a gorgeous offense. So, LeBron James, the domineering Zhang Huang appeared. Episode 55. Now LeBron is attacking with the ball. What did LeBron say to Big Ben and Big Z just now? We guess Libra is ready to stand out for his teammates? Just now China Qin gave the Knights a dismount, and Lebulang, as the little emperor of Cleveland, will not stop. To be a qualified commentator is not only to be eloquent. When necessary, you have to poison milk, and you must learn to pinch the audience's emotions. LeBron attacked with the ball, and McBrien immediately played the atmosphere of the stadium. Lebulang, him. Kill that China Qin. Better put a snap on his head. McBrien's emotional mobilization was very successful. The audience shouted loudly, shouting for James to snap on Qin Yang's head. Watch out for his breakthrough. LeBron sprints up short distances. No one in the league can stop him. Noah looked at Qin Yang and whispered. Qin Yang laughed softly and didn't take James seriously. The 10 Knights version of James is not so powerful offensively. It will make a move, like a bulldozer charging towards the restricted area. The mid-range investment ability is not good, occasionally feel hot, and can score several in a row. More often, it is on the outside line to strike iron. Against this kind of player who only relies on his body to eat the other party, Qin Yang is not afraid. Because in terms of physical fitness alone, the physical confrontation of the dimensional level Ziyu and Atsun is much stronger than James, right? There is no doubt about that. James, who sprinted up, did not dare to be blocked by others, which did not mean that Qin Yang did not dare. As long as James rushes in for a layup or dunk, he will be rewarded with a big hot pot cap. The mad demon blocking skill activated by the system is to prepare players like James and Wei Xiao. Omega. Lebulang is like a divine help, the speed is fast. Luo Erding cannot stop Lebulang's breakthrough at all. The rest of the Knights have a tacit understanding, scattering and pulling apart, leaving room for LeBron to break through. LeBron rushed in, it's a stadium monster. Noah is on the weak side of the inside penalty area, and China Qin is standing in the paint area. China, how will Qin face Lebulang's divine breakthrough? China Qin needs to recognize a problem. Lebulang is not an ordinary outside player. His sprint is more violent than most players. Lebulang heavenly god descends to mortals, strong separation. Albert forced Lai, and the buckle of the partition button has not yet been spoken. Only to hear a muffled bang, James was blocked. He passed Roar Dang and rushed into the box to make a one-handed dunk. As a result, he was sad. Qin Yang has long said that as long as James dares to rush in and face him hard, he must reward James with a fierce hot pot cap. In fact, Qin Yang did what he said. Dimensional level Ziyu and Atsun, physical fitness exploded. The body of God can't help him. James's dunk? Slapped it hard. James's strength was already fierce, and his sprint speed was quite fast, and Roar Dang could only watch James's taillights in a daze. As a result, in the paint area, there was a tower gate waiting for James. Qin Yang stimulated Ziyu and Dun's nerve reflex ability and carefully observed James's position. When James jumped, Qin Yang jumped with him. He threw out a pair of big hands and pressed them on the basketball that James had split with one hand. As a result, James was hindered in the air. No matter how hard he tried, he found that in front of Qin Yang, it was like a chicken to an eagle. Ugh. James's figure fell from midair. The basketball in his hand also fell to the floor. It's capped. Blocked by a rookie who only played 3 games in the NBA. At this moment, the Quick Loan Arena was silent. No one can imagine that Lebulang's extreme sprint, Luo Erdang, can only see the speed of the taillights, and was actually blocked by Qin Yang? How exactly did this kid do it? Is he a fairy? Lee Brown has already brought the sprint speed to its best. As die-hard fans of Zhang Huang, they come to Zhang Huang every game. Never seen Zhang Huang sprinting up in short distances, pressing into the box to dunk, and being blocked by others? This is the first time. The first time I saw such a terrifying inner gate. Little Emperor James was abused by a rookie. On the commentary table, McBrien and Albert were directly hooked, and they were all stunned in place. What operation? Lebulang's extreme one-handed chopping was hatted down by that Dragon Country kid? What a kind. Ordinary inside linemen face the sprinting James, eager to avoid the distance, lest James's strong body hit under the basket. However, this young center from the Dragon Kingdom was undaunted, rose to the occasion, and covered Lebulang's dunk. Oh my God. Oh, God. What just happened? Can anyone tell me what's all this about? The one-handed clasp that Lebulang sprinted up was actually sealed by China Qin? I can't believe it. I can't believe it. This is the 5 best ball blocks. China Qin is the annual cap king. He blocked Lebulang. He blocked Cleveland's basketball emperor. Quick Loan Arena is crazy. Qin Yang hit everyone in the face with practical actions. With him, there is no basketball emperor here. There is only one descendant of Yan Huang called China Qin, in the NBA League, staged a career legend about him. Episode 56. I don't know how long has passed since the scene returned to normal. James was dumbfounded and poked in place, and it took a long time before he reacted from his confusion. He was actually capped? Fuck. James subconsciously spread his hands and ran to find the referee theory. This ball Qin Yang fouled. He felt beaten. The referee did not blow the penalty. What kind of plane did he mess with? Change to an ordinary player. The referee is ironclad. What hit or fell? If your own skills are not as good as others, you can admit it generously, and you have to accuse others of fouling the beaters. But, in the face of James's questioning, the referee could not ignore it. In this era, James, like Kobe, is the face of the league. The international promotion of the league is counting on Kobe and James. After all, the two have the largest number of fans. So James said that Qin Yang had fouled, and the referee had to go to the technical table, summoned another referee, and the two watched the slow-motion replay in detail. From the slow-motion replay, it can be clearly seen that Qin Yang did not foul. This cap is fierce, and it is also accurate. Slapped the basketball. There is no suspicion of a hitter at all. The referee shouted a few words to James and then signaled for the game to return to normal. James was not convinced and muttered a few more words to the referee. The referee did not make sense this time. The penalty is not a child's play. How can it be changed casually? The Cavaliers had the ball and had 9 seconds left in attack. Qin Yang slapped James' dunk, causing the basketball out of bounds, so it was still the Cavaliers' possession. This time, Ben served from the sideline and found James, who ran without the ball. James tried and did not dare to continue charging into the box. He was afraid of being slapped down by Qin Yang again. On the commentary table, Mike Blinn saw this and said, "It's still the Cavaliers' possession. Big Ben sideline serves. Find Lee Brown, who runs in position." Lee Brown received the ball this time and did not continue to charge into the box, but found cover to play a jump shot. Look at the ball of Lee Brown. Bang! Lebulang shot in the middle. It should be played like this. China Qin's defense is very fierce. Rushing into the paint area is equivalent to asking for hardship. James threw himself into the middle pitch, revealing a fierce and evil expression. He also turned his head to glance at Qin Yang, and his expression seemed to say, "It's useless for you to cover me. I can score points in other ways." Qin Yang smiled and did not answer. In this game, let him defend James alone, and the Big Z and Big Ben on the inside are handed over to his teammates, and he can prevent James from getting less than 10 points. This is by no means bragging, but Qin Yang is confident in his defensive ability. "I'm afraid that I will defend James alone, and my teammates will not be able to prevent the bombardment of Big Ben and Big Z." The game continued and the Bulls attacked. The current score is 2-2, and Ross advances with the ball in the box, and points into the box to Ben Gordon. Ben Gordon catches the ball, also accelerates the breakthrough, against Big Ben's joint defense, high arc throw. Not to be outdone, James dribbled on the left side for an opportunity. Big Z came up to block cover, and James got an open space and made a decisive 3-point shot. Ugh. Basketball should be on the net. I have to say that James feels good tonight. The first 5 points were all cut down by him alone. Lieber was smart and didn't continue to rush into the box, but tried to shoot from the outside. The front side is good. Lee Brown scored 5 straight points, temporarily leading the Chicago Bulls by 1 point. The Bulls learned a little bit here, with Rose dribbling past Daniel Gibson and also making a 3-point shot. Unfortunately, this ball was obviously shortened and did not use strength. When Qin Yang saw it, he immediately activated the Heavenly God rebound and predicted that the ball was a vertical board. The vertical board is easy to hold and generally bounces directly in front of the basket. Qin Yang moved and firmly stuck the rebound. The vertical board popped up. Qin Yang grabbed the front court rebound as fast as he could, and made a strong dunk to score the ball steadily. Although the Bulls only have one inside lineman, China Qin, Noah is almost all on the weak side of the short corner. But with China Qin alone, he contracted the rebounds and blocks himself. This guy is really crazy. He was on top of Big Ben and Big Z and helped Derrick make up the dunk. Seeing this, James was very angry. He pointed to the position directly in front of the basket and shouted a few times at Big Z. Obviously, he asked Big Z to pay attention to protect the backcourt rebounds. Big Z saw sweat on the brain. In an interview with the media before the game, the reporter asked him if he was under pressure at both ends of attack and defense in the face of China Qin tonight. At that time, the Big Z was invincible, and he didn't put Qin Yang in his eyes at all. It wasn't until he fought with Qin Yang that he felt the super pressure that Qin Yang brought him. Nodded, Big Z did not dare to beep loudly for a while. Without rebounds, there is no voice. In the era of big ball, it was often said that the rebounder won the world. In this regard, the importance of rebounding is self-evident. Without Rodman's 7-time rebounding king, he wouldn't have been able to go to the Bulls dynasty. Jordan saw that Rodman's ability to grab rebounds was really awesome, so he took the initiative to invite Rodman to join the Bulls. Later, together with Jordan and Pippen, he completed the last 3 consecutive championships of the Bull dynasty. Meanwhile, Qin Yang, who scored the ball in the backcourt, slowly returned to the backfield to defend. He was ready to lift it up and follow Big Z. Once Big Z blocks James, he directly changes the defense to keep an eye on James, making it difficult for James to shoot. Tonight, James is hot on the outside. 1 mid-range shot and 1 3-point shot all scored, which went on against the Bulls. So Qin Yang decided to block him to change his defense and keep an eye on James's output point. As long as they limit James, the strongest output point, the Cavaliers can't turn over any waves. Episode 57. Just now China Qin buckled and scored the ball. Now it's the Cavaliers' offensive possession again. Gibson dribbled the ball up front and gave it to Lee Brown. Lee Brown observed how to play. He directed his teammates to run and signaled Big Z to come up and block the demolition. Albert stared at the court, watching James' every move. James is a player unlike other superstars. Since entering the league, James has been keen to get his teammates to block him. Other supergiants do not have this hobby. First of all, Kobe's offensive strategy is to pull away from his teammates. Gasol and Old Fish, or Odom, are compatible with the area where he triangulated. Then Kobe Bryant turned on the singles mode. Whether outside the 3-point line, mid-range, or low, Kobe Bryant can attack. Mel and Anthony, a precise mid-range shot can kill the game. Iverson's crossover, a butterfly that bursts into the middle distance, pierces flowers. Like a dancing elf on the court, the opponent did not pay attention and was seized by Iverson to score. As for Matty, his soul-destroying and sharp spirit snake breakthroughs can finish the game with his personal ability. James is different. He plays jumper tactics, and once the defender is close to it, he relies on blocking. Until 2021, before Qin Yang crossed, James also needed teammates to block and create hand space for him. Big Z raised the high position and squeezed Luo Erden on the periphery. In fact, this kind of action is suspected of fouling, and the player cannot move the block. And Big Z deliberately took 2 steps forward in order to block Roerdang. The referee did not blow the penalty. After all, this is a quick-loan arena, and there is a supergiant like James. It's normal for the NBA to have some home court whistles, star whistles. There was some problem with Big Z's blocking, but it didn't matter. The referee didn't blow the penalty. Roerdang is blocked on the perimeter. He can't get by, and the Bulls need to come out alone to defend with Roerdang. China Qin came out, the middle distance he has been swimming. He may have known that Lebulang would let Big Z block the demolition. Now Lebulang is facing China Qin one-on-one. Just now China Qin gave Lebulang a hot pot cap, and Lebulang did not dare to enter the forbidden area easily. Even if you go in, you must seize the opportunity and not be reckless. Mike Blind said. James dribbled a big step and broke through Qin Yang, who came up to the defense. Omega. After all, Lebulang is the strongest number 3 on this planet. He is very explosive, and he passed China Qin in 1 step. Some shouldn't. China Qin was strangely passed by Lebulang. In the last game, China Qin could defend the outside alone, but this time he was killed by Lebulang in 1 step. Some people are confused. Qin Yang's ability to defend the outside line is okay. Why was James 1 step over this time? It was later understood that Nelson could not be compared to James. James is the chosen son, and Nelson, despite playing well with the Magic, is just a role player after all. At this time, James couldn't help but laugh secretly. China Qin? Hot all union? The defensive ability is no more than that, and it is on the same level as Luo Erdang. Just sealed himself, the blind cat touched the dead rat. James thought so, without stopping at his feet, and rushed as fast as he could to the Bulls' paint area. The inner gate has no Qin Yang, and no one dares to stop James. He sprinted like a tank. Isn't it equivalent to looking for death, to block James on his own small body? At least Noah didn't dare to stop James, stood on the weak side of the paint area, symbolically raised his hands, and didn't let his teammates and coaches call him lazy. In fact, defending a monster like James, no one is willing. You can't lose your career by desperately defending James. Which is more important than another, everyone can still clearly distinguish. Everyone watched James rush into the box, and the quick-loan arena suddenly erupted into cheers. That China Qin was just like that, and he was eventually thrown out by Emperor Jean's speed. Lee Brown, MVP. Lebulang, you are the strongest player on the surface, you will always be invincible. Cleveland fans, cheering for James loudly. The more they screamed at the moment, the worse they cried the next. James dribbled past Qin Yang. In fact, Qin Yang did it on purpose. This is called leading snakes into holes and catching turtles in urns. Really thought that James broke through and Qin Yang, who played Ziyu and Tun, couldn't prevent it? He deliberately left James room to break through. Wait until James Dupang spreads his wings, takes off into the air, and prepares for a mighty dunk. Qin Yang shot out on the flank with the momentum of thunder and successfully locked James's offensive range. Nailboard big hat waiting. Bang! A muffled sound came. The ball that James was about to dunk into the basket was slapped on the tempered glass by Qin Yang. Due to the angle problem, Qin Yang is killed on the flank, which can more easily implement the nail plate big hat. James's body in the air was crooked, and he never dreamed that he would clearly break through Qin Yang. Why can Qin Yang still kill on the flank and send him another big hot pot cap? This scene was reflected in the eyes of more than 20,000 people in the audience, and they were immediately stunned. In the commentary table, McBrien and Albert were still beeping loudly. As a result, after seeing Qin Yang give James another nailboard hat, the two of them stopped talking in an instant. His eyes widened and he stared at the court. That's impossible. Lebulang has broken through him. This Dragon Country kid can still cover Lebulang on the flanks. Is he a human or a ghost? No one knew how Qin Yang did it. Only he himself knows best. The forbidden area is absolutely defensive. It is said that James, the little emperor, is the real basketball emperor Chamberlain. In the face of him, Qin Yang was only abused. 1v1 head-on, looking at the whole alliance, there is no one Qin Yang is afraid of. Episode 58. Shit, why did he cap me again? This is the moment. James's brain was buzzing, with 100,000 whys. It is not possible to break through, and it is still blocked by Qin Yang on the flanks. After nailing the big hat, the basketball was controlled by Qin Yang. I didn't give James a two-handed grab hat, which was already very face-saving for him. Qin Yang controlled the ball and passed it to his teammates to push back. Qin. You guy, it's so good, the Bulls have you, no team is afraid. Head coach Winnie DeNegro witnessed Qin Yang block James twice. This can make him happy. In the past to play the Knights, the Bulls won more and lost less. This time I can finally raise my eyebrows. Full speed forward, fight back. Winnie DeNegro roared. Rose is the fastest, and after entering the league, he has been hailed as the Little James by countless fans. In terms of explosiveness, it is not inferior to James. Ben Gordon received a pass from Qin Yang and gave a long pass to Ross, who was attacking fast. Ross ran to the Cavaliers' penalty area and came with a dashing and coquettish backclasp of his hands. Overtaken. The Bulls relied on Qin Yang's super defense to surpass the Cavaliers. Inside the Quick-Loan Arena, there was silence. The fans watching the game at the scene were as if they were fixed by magic. I looked at each other a few times and felt that this was not a dream. The center of the Dragon Kingdom was too strong, and rubbed their chosen son against the floor. Omega. I didn't see it with my own eyes, and I still can't believe that China Qin was able to give Lebulang 2 caps at the beginning of the single quarter game. Yes, China Qin is very strong. Why do I feel that Lebulang broke through Qin and smoothly rushed into the inner line of the Bulls? Everything was intentional. China Qin. Albert asked, wondering in his heart. If this was the case, then Qin Yang was simply terrifying. Everything is in his calculations, and Lebulang's breakthrough of the restricted area is a sinkhole in itself. A pit where turtles are caught in an urn. Shida, if you don't say it, I didn't even notice it. When you say so, I feel that too. China Qin deliberately allowed Lebulang to enter the forbidden area? McBrien looked surprised. Well, I think so. The two discussed as the Knights attacked again. James was a little scared, his brows furrowed, his face solemn. In the past few days, the league is all about Qin Yang's reports, and James didn't take it seriously at all, and he didn't have the leisure to learn about a rookie. Because his thinking is the same as that of Big Z, rookie players play high-quality statistics, which does not mean how good they are. Maybe it's the opponent rookie, maybe it's the nerve knife, and a certain scene suddenly broke out. Now, that doesn't seem to be the case. Qin Yang is really difficult. This is the first time James has encountered such a tricky interior since joining the league in 2003. Dunking or layup in front of Qin Yang is equivalent to looking for death. This is still a chicken? It was equivalent to Qin Yang alone, completely limiting him. You must know that James' #1 killer is a breakthrough, and without a breakthrough, his personal power is halved. This time dribbled to the front court, James did not rush to attack. Instead, he swam back and forth, broke through the middle distance, and made a faint shake to Mo Williams on the outside. There is no way but to let the teammates fight first. James needs to be calm, and then by Qin Yang's hat third, he will face Jiangdong's father without face. Cleveland is his hometown, and being beaten by a rookie is too faceless. Mo Williams received the ball, faced Ben Gordon's defense, and went straight to the jump shot. It felt good in the hand and scored on the first shot. Ebian fought again, and the Bulls also played a beautiful offense. The inner big book and the big Z bag sandwiched Qin Yang, which just didn't give Qin Yang space to jump. Qin Yang saw the calculation and hit the ground to pass to Noah on the weak side. Noah imitated Duncan's stunt, playing the board at a 45-degree angle and hitting it easily. The two sides carried it in this way, but the overall offensive efficiency was still excellent for the Bulls. At the end of the first quarter, the Bulls led the Cavaliers by 6 points. At 28:22, the two sides entered the second quarter. In this section of the game, Qin Yang has been caught by Big Ben and Big Z joint defense. It was the decision of Cavaliers head coach Larry Buelang, as well as James' decision. Tonight, James hated Qin Yang. Because of Qin Yang, he lost face in front of Jiangdong's father. The opening game was two big hats, which was simply unbearable. Fortunately, in the second quarter, James fired from the outside and hit 2 goals. Emma Williams, as well as Daniel Gibson, both scored. Is it the Big Z who suffered from the inside? He was special care by Qin Yang, and he still wanted to score in the paint area? Brother, I don't know what is called absolute defense of the restricted zone. Teach you to be a good person. See if you dare to speak out in front of the media in the future. Big Z played the entire 2 quarters of the game and did not score a pitiful point. Only got 4 backcourt rebounds, plus a block, and blocked Roar Deng by 1, 54:43. At halftime, the Bulls continued to extend their score, leading the Cavaliers by 11 points. The interior Big Z was limited to death and could not help the team contribute points. And Big Ben, he's not a player who is good at attacking himself. Big Ben's talent is defense, not offense. During the Pistons' 5 Tigers period, the team did not win the championship by relying on Big Ben's attack, but Big Ben's iron-blooded defense. However, Big Ben did not bother, did it when he had the opportunity, and did not dare to score in the paint area. This guy also imitated Duncan's stunts, playing boards at a 45-degree angle, and a full basket board, hitting 2 goals and scoring 4 points. By the third quarter of the game, the Bulls were in full bloom. Qin Yang can't score points. As long as the team can win, he is willing to sacrifice himself to respond. Playing the Celtics the other day, Perkins and Garnett frequently combined with him to defend the bag. For a few minutes, Qin Yang chose a high position to assist his teammates to score. Ross, Luo Erding, and Ben Gordon are all contentious, and under Qin Yang's tandem strategy, scoring is like chopping melons and cutting vegetables. At halftime in the game, Qin Yang didn't cut many points, but he got many assists. A center has 5 assists, and this is only the third quarter of the game. In tonight's game, the teammates continued to output strength, and Qin Yang got 10 assists, which is not a problem at all. At that time, the standard large triple pair will belong to Qin Yang again. Episode 59. The game continued, and the third quarter began with the Bulls taking possession of the ball. Ross passed the ball to Qin Yang, and as soon as Qin Yang received the ball, Big Ben and Big Z were entangled unrelentingly. The two are like dog skin plaster, no matter how they get rid of it. Qin Yang was a little annoyed. Wrapping him like this was simply to the point of madness. Catch the ball brewing, use his back to test the position of Big Z. This guy is not too close. He already knows that Qin Yang's confrontation power is amazing. I was afraid that Qin Yang would push hard and eject him out. Looking at Qin Yang, who was half a head shorter than him, Big Z was in trouble for a while. This shorty is very difficult, and he can't prevent it alone. Sensing that Big Z's position was a little far away from him, Qin Yang did not hesitate. His central feet were cocked, and his figure turned into a golden rooster independent state. Imitate the skyhook Abdul-Jabbar and make a hook handball. Seeing this, the Big Ben next to him jumped up and slapped Qin Yang's hook ball out. Beep. At the same time, the referee's whistle sounded. Big Ben fouled. It was a jamming ball. Qin Yang walked up to the free throw line and hit 2 shots. The free throw percentage is okay. The problem is not very big. With these 2 free throws, Qin Yang scored 18 points. In this game, due to the bag that has been frustrated, Qin Yang did not have a good shot. Only 18 points, which is much less efficient offense than playing magic on the court. It was the Cavaliers' turn to attack. James pushed forward with the ball, burst into mid-range, and fluttered sideways. The basketball cuts a beautiful arc in the air and can also go in. The Bulls didn't give the Cavaliers a counterattack, and Qin Yang responded in the next round, assisting Luo Erding to hit a 3-pointer at a 45-degree angle on the right. Qin Yang has already had 6 assists, and Luo Erding scored a double. The offensive rhythm has been smooth. Compared to the Cavaliers, who rely on James to advance the attack, the Bulls side plays more reasonably and more united. Just like Popovich's Spurs, the main team basketball weakens the presence of superstars. Throughout the third quarter, Qin Yang chose to finish the game in both directions. If you have the opportunity, you will go it alone, and if you don't have a chance, you will assist your teammates to score. Because once he is on the field, the containment is very strong, and there are always empty seats for teammates. Even Ross, who was not very good at jumping shots when he first entered the league, shot 2 3-pointers with the assist of Qin Yang. Ross has already scored 25 points, more than Qin Yang. In terms of assists, it was completely exploded by Qin Yang. After the third quarter, Qin Yang got 9 assists, while Ross only had 4. Fighting, how did Qin Yang, a big center, become a point guard for the Bulls? That's a bit weird. Head coach Vinny DeNegro was incredible. He ignored that Qin Yang would also have various strategies, and his passing awareness and passing vision were not inferior to ordinary point guards. This big tall man is actually an all-round master? After 3 quarters, the Bulls still held the lead, 75-66, 9 points ahead of the Cavaliers. Coming to the end, Larry Bueling changed his defensive strategy. He found a very serious problem, wrapping Qin Yang. He would miss others. Usually Noah is a transparent person, who has cut 17 points in this game, which is simply speechless. Even because Qin Yang's frontcourt rebounds are properly protected, the Bulls have many opportunities for open three-pointers. If you continue to fight like this, the Cavaliers will definitely lose. The big tall man from the Dragon Kingdom is really terrifying in terms of efficiency on the field. Larry Bueling tried to get Big Z and Big Ben to use foul tactics. See if this trick can limit Qin Yang? Subsequently, as long as Qin Yang received the ball on the inside, Big Z and Big Ben fouled Qin Yang one after another. Once Qin Yang had no temper, he began to fall asleep again, and he was particularly unimpressed by free throws. 6 free throws, 1 missed. Larry Bueling looked, is there really a chance? When Qin Yang stands on the free throw line, he can slow down the rhythm and consume Qin Yang's combat power. Foul. Foul on him. If you can't prevent it, you will foul. You take turns. In the terminology of their dragon country, this is called wheel war, and using wheel war consumes his energy. Larry Bueling pushed the glasses on the bridge of his nose and shouted at the Cavaliers during the pause. Everyone nodded. Wheel war foul, this is familiar. In the early years, O'Neal was restricted, and various teams used this trick to disgust the Sharks. Him and you're done. James and others also found that Qin Yang seemed to hate free throws. The more he hated something, the more he disgusted him with this kind of damage. At the last moment, Qin Yang walked to the free throw line again and again. He was fouled 5 times in a single quarter and received 10 free throws. The nights are too disgusting to Qin Yang, the front joint defense bag, and the back consumes Qin Yang's mind with fouls. But, Qin Yang sometimes loses, but he just doesn't care too much. At key moments, his free throws can still be trusted. In the last penalty, Qin Yang slapped the ball twice, looking for a feeling. And at this time, James suddenly walked over, muttering in his mouth, "Hey, Qin, I can guarantee that you will never go in this penalty." Well? Qin Yang, who was looking for a feeling, was stunned to hear James's words, and couldn't help but grin. Then he replied, "Lebulang, if I get penalized, what do you say? What do you say?" Bet? James continued to babble. This is a small loss on the pitch that deliberately provokes the opponent so that he cannot score. Strong as Kobe, Jordan, Malone and others, have been calculated. However, the first 2 fought and were not disturbed by the accuracy of free throws. The latter, Karl Malin, is sad. He had a free throw that year, and like Qin Yang now, he made a free throw at a crucial moment in the final quarter. Pippen walked up to Marlin and muttered, "The postman is not at work today." Believe Pippen's trash words, NBA fans have heard it more or less, but there are still many fans who don't quite understand the meaning. Marlin free throws, has a wool relationship with the postman's failure to go to work? That's the beauty of NBA trash talk. Karl Malin's nickname is the Postman. That day the Bulls played the Jazz, which coincided with the weekend. It means, it's the weekend today, the postman who delivered the letter has gone home to rest. They have all gone home to rest. Why are you still working so hard? Therefore, your Karl Malone penalty must not enter, because on weekends, you also want to go home quickly to accompany your wife and children. As a result, Pippen's trash words completely disturbed Marlin's mind. As a result, Malone missed key free throws and the Bulls won the game. And at the moment, James babbled crookedly at Qin Yang, although he did not say Pippen's golden sentences, but he also wanted to interfere with Qin Yang's free throw. Qin Yang could not let him succeed, and he replied as soon as he spoke, "Lebulang, bet right? Let's bet $500,000. It just so happened that I had just signed the contract and had some spare money in my account. Let's gamble $500,000. You give it to me, I can't give it to you." So many people testify at the scene, none of us want to play tricks. Okay? Or do you dare to make this bet? Episode 50. Dad, that's $40 million, not 40,000. Qin Yang smiled bitterly and shook his head. Their parents have been poor all their lives, and there is so much money in the family at once, and it is reasonable that Qin Jingshan and Zhao Yaru do not believe it. This? Is it really 40 million? Zhao Yara held on the phone. My family Yang is so powerful? Have you already made $40 million? Old Qin, I said back then, our family Yang must not be an ordinary child. Now it has been verified, Yang has earned $40 million. Zhao Yara was so excited that she almost hugged Qin Jingshan and kissed the two. This? Qin Jingshan was still in shock and confusion. The son actually earned $40 million. Stinky boy, when are you coming back? Qin Jingshan swallowed a mouthful of spit and asked dumbfoundedly. I'll go back tomorrow morning. You don't have to go to work, I'm serious. Since you have the ability to make a lot of money, there is no need to let your parents work tirelessly. Isn't it fragrant for the elderly at home? Okay, your mother and I are waiting for you to come over tomorrow. Is there anything else? It's gone. Qin Jingshan nodded. and instructed uneasily, "Stinky boy, now that you have money, you can't be blind, you have to save a little flour. Also, don't get contaminated with those illegal and taboo things, a gamble, a due product, you must not touch." Because he often pays attention to the NBA, Qin Yang knows that many NBA players start to float after they make a lot of money. Some people like to gamble, some people like do, and some guys love nightclubs. The little prince of the nightclub, in the early years there was Iverson, later Harden. Rumor has it that Kobe got up at 4 in the morning to practice. Harden, on the other hand, came out of a Houston nightclub at 4 a.m. Both went out at 4 a.m. The difference is that one who sees Los Angeles at 4 in the morning is for practice. And the other saw Houston at 4 o'clock in the morning, it was actually to flirt with the girl. Qin Yang listened to his father's instructions and bowed his head slightly. "Tomorrow morning, go to my parents' place. By the way, activate this Midbank Premium Gold card." Following. Qin Yang got up early and asked head coach Winnie DiNegro for a day off. Then drive to the Federal Reserve Bank of Me to activate his prestigious gold card. It's quite troublesome, first show identification, then enter fingerprints, reset passwords, etc. Do all this, and under the guidance of the staff, this gold card can be used. Checking the balance, looking at the long list of zeros in the card, Qin Yang suddenly refreshed. It's a wonderful feeling to go from poor to rich in just a few days. Do you want to get a whole car first? Qin Yang muttered to himself. Although he has not studied luxury cars since he was a child, he only loves snacks. But men, when they go out, luxury cars are a face. With luxury cars, you can be respected by others wherever you go. And driving a luxury car comes with an identity bonus, which is obvious. For example, a very simple example. Going out to flirt with girls, with a luxury car, and without a luxury car, those are completely different concepts. You can complain that most of the women in this year are gold worshippers, but there is no way. People are real animals. Women, in particular, become more and more realistic as adults. Whole. If you have time, go and get a luxury car. What brand to buy? Ferrari? Lamborghini? Bugatti Veyron? No, this thing is too luxurious, a Bugatti Veyron. It is said that tens of millions of US dollars, buy a Bugatti Veyron, the salary is all dry in 2 years. And Qin Yang also knows that Bugatti Veyron is a world-class famous car. You can't buy it if you want to, you need to order it from the manufacturer in advance. And whether the manufacturer sells or not, it depends on the comprehensive index of the owner. That said, the Bugatti Veyron has always been a limited edition. Money does not necessarily buy it, but also depends on the identity and status of the car owner in society. Keep a low profile, the whole Phantom Rolls-Royce. Qin Yang muttered mindfully, and the taxi had arrived at his parents' door. This is the slum of Chicago, and the residents are mainly black. Second, Asians and Latinos are in the minority. When he was a child, Qin Yang grew up here, and he has long been accustomed to the dirty and chaotic environment here. Qin Jingshan and Zhao Yaru did not go to work, pushed open the door, and saw the second elder. "Mom and Dad." Qin Yang said hello. Qin Jingshan and Zhao Yaru turned their heads and found that their son was coming. Zhao Yaru ran over and looked at Qin Yang, who was much taller than her, with a proud expression on her face. Yang, you came, did you eat?" "Your dad and I haven't moved our chopsticks yet, so we're waiting for you to come back and eat. I ate some at the roadside store." Qin Yang was not hungry, looked around the crowded rental house in front of him, and said, "Let's go, don't eat first, go back and finish things, let's have a big meal." Yang, you want to take me and your father out?" Zhao Yaru was puzzled, "Where are we going?" "Of course, I went to see the house, this time you two elders are in charge, which set you fancy, we will buy which one?" For buying a house, Qin Yang was willing to pay for his blood. Back in 2008, property prices around the world had the opportunity to skyrocket. Although the United States is a developed country and has a wide range of people, it is similar to the Dragon Country in terms of local administration. Land and real estate finances, especially luxury houses, have a lot of room for appreciation. In 2008, luxury home prices in Chicago were reasonable. Buy it and wait for the appreciation, more than 10 years have passed, it will definitely double. I read a report before crossing that after Yao Ming made a lot of money, he bought 5 properties in Houston. Now that I have money on hand, invest in a wave of luxury houses first. Even if you don't live in the future, you can make some money by selling it. To figure this out, a mansion is a must. Today I took my parents to see the house, the second elder took a fancy, and he felt satisfied, so he bought it. From now on, live a life of humanity.